Hello everybody, Terry back again, another video. Alright, my tennis fans all around the world, it is time, the semi-final time at the US Open 2023. It is 4 left man standing. We had 128 players when this draw started 12 days ago. Now we have only 4 left men standing. And who are the 4 left men that are standing? It is not any surprises. It is Djokovic, it is Alcaraz, it is Medvedev. The biggest 3 favorites that we had coming into this tournament, at least those 3 was my 3 biggest favorites coming into this tournament. All 3 of them are in my top 3 favorites. Djokovic, Alcaraz number one, Djokovic number 2, Medvedev number 3. The only surprise name here is Ben Shelton. I didn't see this coming because Ben Shelton has had a disaster season after the Australian Open, where he made his first ever Grand Slam quarterfinal. After that, the dude has not been able to win 2 consecutive matches on the ATP Tour. But now he is doing his best run in his career with his first ever semi-final appearance at New York, in the United States, in his home country. Alright guys, before I go to preview this semi-finals, let's talk a little about the quarterfinals. Zverev just lost against Carlos Alcaraz in 3 straight sets. Carlos eliminated Zverev in 3 straight sets. It was not any surprise. I was never in doubt that Carlos would lose this match. I thought that Carlos might lose 1 set. He didn't do even that. Zverev didn't take even 1 set. Many people around the world believe that Zverev maybe would give Carlos some kind of a trouble because of the head-to-head, which he leads 3-2. But we should not forget that those matches that Zverev has won against Carlos, it was a different Carlos back then. It was a 0-time Grand Slam champion, Carlos Alcaraz. Zverev has defeated 3 times. Nowadays, Carlos Alcaraz is a 2-time Grand Slam champion. And Zverev doesn't have much to come with here. He just doesn't have the shot-making skills a la Carlos. He doesn't have the firepower a la Carlos. He doesn't have the variety a la Carlos. He doesn't have the hand skills a la Carlos. The skill gap is too big here for Zverev to have a chance against Carlos Alcaraz. And he didn't have. Carlos Alcaraz, he won this match in pretty straightforward way. If you look at the numbers, Carlos does 3 aces, 3 double faults, which is even Steven there. He lands 57% first serve in, which is little too little. He needs to be over 60%, according to me, when the competition gets even harder. He wins 76% behind his first serve. He wins 57% behind his second serve. He broke the Zverev serve 4 times out of 4 breaking point opportunities that he had. He does 29 winners and 34 unforced errors, so he does 5 more unforced errors than winners. And he's really great at the net, Carlos, which he attacked the net 35 times and won 28 of those net approaches, which is 80% successful. All in all, Carlos wins 97 points in the entire match. That was Carlos' numbers. Zverev's numbers are not that of a disaster, to be quite honest, but they are not superior either. He does 6 aces, 4 double faults, which is great to be Zverev. Because we all know that Zverev does a lot of double faults. He lands 68% first serve in, which is really, really good. Almost 70% in landing first serve in is always good. He wins 73% behind his first serve. Still wins less points behind his first serve than Carlos. Why? Because Carlos has a much better first plus game than Zverev, according to me. He has a much better serve plus game than Zverev. He plays closer to the baseline than Zverev. He takes the ball earlier than Zverev. He hits through the court much better than Zverev, and that's why Carlos won more points than his first serve, despite landing less first serves than Zverev. But the huge difference here is winning points behind second serve. Zverev is a disaster there. He wins only 29% behind his second serve, compared with Carlos, who won 57% behind his second serve. It was there that Zverev lost the match. It was not, and on the breakpoints conversion, which I will come to soon. Carlos outmatches Zverev in winning points behind his second serve. 57%, which Carlos won points behind his second serve. Zverev winning only 29% of his points behind his second serve. It was there where Zverev got really outmatched. And also in the breakpoints conversions, where Zverev actually had 5 breakpoint opportunities, he couldn't convert in any of them. If you don't convert in all of your breakpoint opportunities that you're creating, and your opponent he converts in all of his breakpoint opportunities that he's creating, you will not win tennis matches. You will not even win sets, which of course Sasha didn't. He created more breakpoint opportunities than his opponent, 5. He didn't convert in any of them. Carlos created 4. He converted in all of them. There you have also a big difference in the match. And also on the net, Zverev, he attacked the net 21 times and he won only 9 of those net approaches, which is 43%. Even there, Carlos is outmatching Zverev on the net approaches. Carlos is 80% successful at the net. Zverev is 43% successful at the net. Zverev all in all won 76 points in the entire match. Carlos won 97 points in the entire match. So Carlos wins 21 more points than Alexander Sasha Zverev in this match. All right, enough about that. Now, who will Carlos face? It will be Daniil Medvedev, who also won his match in straight sets against Rublev. But this was a much more even affair, according to me. Despite that, this also was a straight sets victory for Medvedev. But this was a more closer one. Because Rublev was actually a break-up in all the sets. First set, second set, third set. But couldn't maintain his lead. Medvedev was every single time coming back and winning the sets, despite Rublev being a break-up in every single set. So Rublev gave Medvedev a better run for his money than what Zverev gave Alcaraz, that's for sure. If you look at Medvedev, he does 8 double faults. 8 aces and 9 double faults. He does too many double faults in this match. He lands 55% first serve in, which is too little. Medvedev, he needs to be much higher than that in his next match. That's for sure. He wins 75% on his first serve. He wins 29% on his second serve, which is a disaster according to me, to win that little points behind his second serve. He broke Rublev's serve 9 times out of 19 breakpoint opportunities that he had. This was a break fest, to say the least. He does 26 winners only and 40 unforced errors. So Medvedev does 14 more unforced errors than winners in this match. But Medvedev did a great job at the net. He attacked the net 19 times and won 15 of those net approaches, which is 79% successful at the net. So he did a really great job there. All in all, Medvedev won 103 points in the entire match. If you look at Rublev, he did 4 aces, 5 double faults. He landed 60% first serve in, which he landed more first serve in than Medvedev, but he won much less points behind his first serve than Medvedev. He won 64% behind his first serve. He also was a disaster in winning points behind his second serve. He won 28% of the points behind his second serve. He broke Medvedev's serve 5 times out of 13 breakpoint opportunities that he had. He did 32 winners and 37 unforced errors. He does 5 more unforced errors than winners. He actually had a better ratio here. Medvedev does 14 more unforced errors than winners. Rublev does 5 more unforced errors than winners. But he just broke serve less times than Medvedev. That's where he lost the match. Medvedev broke Rublev's serve 9 times. Rublev broke Medvedev's serve 5 times. So it was there Rublev lost the match. And at the net, Rublev attacked the net 29 times. And he won 19 of those net approaches, which is 66% successful, which is also good. Rublev couldn't hit through Medvedev, so he was attacking the net a lot of times. It is not crazy amount of times, but he attacked the net 10 times more than what Medvedev did. Medvedev attacked the net 19 times. Rublev attacked the net 29 times because he could feel it. They were going in huge rallies, and he just felt that I can't hit through this dude. And I need to do something. And he was trying to attack the net, which he did a decent job, winning 19 out of 29 net approaches, which is not bad. He lost only 10 net approaches out of 29 times that he attacked the net, which is 66% successful. All in all, in the match, Rublev won 95 points compared with Medvedev, who won 103 points. So Medvedev, despite winning this match in straight sets, won only 8 more points than Rublev. That's why I'm saying that this match was much closer even though it was also straight sets victory for Medvedev, than the case was in the match between Zverev and Carlos. Carlos was much better than Zverev in that other quarterfinal. All right, enough about these two matches. Let's go and preview the semifinals. Let's talk about the first match, which is the place I already talked about, which is Carlos versus Medvedev. The head-to-head is 2-1 to Carlos Alcaraz. They faced each other 2 times already this year. Indian Wells final, where Carlos won in straight sets, and in the Wimbledon semi-final, which also Carlos won in straight sets. The only match that Medvedev has defeated Carlos Alcaraz was when Carlos was 18 years of age, which was Wimbledon 2 years ago. But it was a completely different Carlos Alcaraz back then. Who do I see winning this match? Medvedev, of course, has a chance. He's still, after all, like himself calls himself, and I agree with him. He says that he's a hardcore specialist, which he is. 20 titles that Medvedev has. Majority of titles that Medvedev has won, he has won all of them on hard courts. He has won only 2 titles outside hard courts, which is 1 on clay, 1 on grass. All the other titles Medvedev has won on hard courts, both indoors and outdoors. So Medvedev should really come into this match with confidence, and he should really believe in himself. But for him to trouble Carlos, he needs to do some changes in his game plan. First of all, he needs to play closer to the baseline. If he doesn't do that, Carlos Alcaraz will kill him with a lot of drop shots, with a lot of net approaches, with chip and charge, with just taking it to Medvedev. Medvedev's strategy, playing deep, far from the baseline, works against, say, 98% of the tour. It works, but not against Carlos. Against Carlos, he needs to come out from his comfort zone. He needs to realize that me playing 3, 4, 5 meters behind from baseline is not working against this dude. It is not. So I need to change something. All right? So, a key for Medvedev to win this match, he needs to play closer to the baseline. He needs to return closer, especially the second serve, because Medvedev, he tends to stand far behind even on the returning second serves. He needs to be landing more first serves in than 55%, which he did against Rublev. It is enough against Rublev, because Rublev doesn't have the firepower, the skill set, the variety, the lighting fast legs, even though Rublev is not slow, but it's not faster than Carlos. Rublev doesn't possess all those things that Carlos possesses. So Medvedev needs to be landing much more first serves in. He needs to win a lot of free points. And to be able to do that, he needs to be over 65% in landing first serves in. Everything under that, under 65%, he will lose this match, and he will do it in straight sets. But exactly like Medvedev said after the quarterfinal match against Rublev, he said, people cannot hit through me. 97% of the tour, they have difficulties in hitting through me, because I'm a great defender. I always send 1 extra ball back on the court. But that is not the case with Carlos. He does just hit some such fast shots with some murderous forehand, huge forehands and backhands and ground strokes. So he's able hitting through my defense, which is a great analyst from Medvedev in the matchup between Medvedev and Carlos. So Medvedev needs to dictate here, even though it is not his strength. Medvedev's strength is just making his opponent do a lot of unforced errors, just making his opponent play an extra shot. Medvedev is a kind of a player like Djokovic, like Murray, like Nadal, just with worse offensive skills, especially worse offensive skills than Djokovic and Nadal. I can compare Medvedev more to Murray. Murray, he reminds me about Medvedev, and vice versa. But here, Medvedev, that tactic will not work against Carlos, because Carlos has all the package. He has the forehand, the backhand, the net approaches, the returns, lightning fast. He's a speed demon on the court. He has the entire arsenal, Carlos Alcaraz. So it is not only Medvedev who has troubles against Carlos. Let not fool ourselves here, my tennis fans all around the world. It is the entire tour who has problems against Carlos. And the key to be able to challenge Carlos is taking it to Carlos, staying close to the baseline, serving big, just taking all the time away from him, like Sinner does, for example. That is the key. Suicide game plan against Carlos is staying far from the baseline, giving him all the time in the world, where he can drop shot you, where he can attack you at the net, where he can pull the trigger with his heavy ground strokes, both forehand and backhand, especially the forehand. So that is all the things that Medvedev needs to do to really have a chance here. Will he do that? No, I don't think so. I believe that Medvedev cannot play close to the baseline. I believe that Medvedev, he cannot return close to the baseline. He still will return 2, 3, maybe he will take one step closer, maybe. But I still just feel that Medvedev, he doesn't feel comfortable in going out of his comfort zone. He doesn't feel comfortable. He will just try to stay with Carlos from the baseline and go with it in the exchanges, and just take Carlos in long rally exchanges. Which that tactic works against everybody else, but not against Carlos, because Carlos has such a big variety in his game. He has such great hand skills that he will drop shot Medvedev. He will attack the net. He will go for the trigger. He will pull the trigger. He will take big cuts on the ball and just hit through Medvedev, because he has that firepower, Carlos. And he's one of few players who can hit through Medvedev. He's one of few players, which Medvedev has noticed that himself as well. I think Carlos Alcaraz will win this one in straight sets. In 3 close sets. That is my feeling. Alright, the second semi-final preview is between Novak Djokovic and Ben Shelton. Djokovic is a heavy favorite here. They are facing each other for the first time. Who do I see winning this one? Ben Shelton has a chance if he serves like he did the first 4 rounds. His first percentage on his first 4 rounds was really good, especially his first 2 rounds. The first round, I believe he landed 70% first serve in. The second round, 71% first serve in. The third round, 67% first serve in. And the fourth round, 67% first serve in. He needs to be in those kind of numbers. In his 5th match, which was the quarterfinal against Tiafoe, he was down under 60% with 59% first serve in. That will not win him the match. With under 60% first serve in, Ben Shelton will lose this match in straight sets, like Taylor Fritz did when Taylor landed 55% first serve in. Because Ben Shelton cannot expect from himself to consistently beat Novak Djokovic from the baseline. You know what I've said to my tennis friends all around the world. To be able, the player who wins the baseline battle, he wins the tennis matches. Ben Shelton needs to make sure to avoid long exchange from the baseline as much as possible. And how can he do that? He needs to make sure to land a lot of first serve in. Not 59%, which he did against Tiafoe. Alright? He needs to be serving a little better than he did against Tiafoe. Yeah, he did serve pretty decent against Tiafoe, but he still got his serve broken 4 times. He did 11 double faults against Tiafoe, 14 aces, which is okay number, but it is not unbelievable. Absolutely not. It was enough against Tiafoe, but he's not facing Tiafoe now, which Ben Shelton seems not to realize. When he was asked about the Djokovic match, I was actually laughing with myself a little. But what do you think about Djokovic now that comes next? Yeah, another tough opponent. Ben Shelton, come on, my friend, another tough opponent. It is not another tough opponent. It is another, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tennis player of opponent you're facing. Not another tough opponent. What are you talking about, dude? But he will realize that on Friday, that it is not just another tough opponent. He will not come away with under 60% first serve sin. He will not come away with getting his serve broken 4 times. If Tiafoe could broke his serve 4 times, I just can't imagine what Djokovic will do. So Ben Shelton's biggest weapon is his serve, and that serve needs to be on fire. And one key to that, to be on fire, is to not give Djokovic too many looks of second serves. Because if he does that, even though Ben Shelton has a big second serve as well, but the second serve is never bigger than the first serve. It has never been, and it will never be, for any tennis player. Not only for Ben, for any tennis player, always the first serve is bigger than the second serve. So, anyway, Ben Shelton needs to be serving big, needs to protect his serve, and then go out to try to break Novak's serve. Because it is one thing I've noticed with Djokovic, not only this US Open, but the last couple of months, he's not serving as great as I'm used to see him serving. He has troubles in serving out sets, serving out matches. Even in Cincinnati, when he won that title, he couldn't serve out the match against Zverev in the semis. He couldn't serve out the match against Carlos in the final. Even when he has served out some matches here at US Open, like the match against Jera in the 3rd round, he had one break punch opportunity against him in that last game of the match. So his serve is not impossible to break. He got broken 2 times against Fritz, and Fritz created 12 break punch opportunities. He was just not effective enough to break more. So Djokovic is much more vulnerable on his serve than I'm used to see. So if Ben Shelton can protect his serve and then just go at it take some chances maybe on the return game and try to break Novak's serve, and then just go in that lock-in mode and just go in that big serving mode and protect his serve, he can win some set. He can win set 6-4 or 7-5 or 6-3 or whatever, maybe even a tiebreak. In a tiebreak, I don't believe so much in Ben Shelton. I just think that, Djokovic is the greatest tiebreak player of all time. He is, according to me. So if they go into a tiebreak, I fancy Djokovic 9 times out of 10 in those occasions. So Djokovic is the huge favorite here. I don't think for Ben Shelton to win this match, and even to make this match to close battle, he needs to be landing over 70% first serve sin, according to me. Over 70%. Because from the baseline, he doesn't have a chance. I believe so. Djokovic is one of the greatest baseline players of all time, if not the greatest baseline player of all time, outside clay. Because on clay, we all know who that is. It is Rafa Nadal. Even though he's not as good on the baseline as he used to be 7-8 years ago, it is still not many players who can challenge him from the baseline, besides Alcaraz, Medvedev, Zverev. So, Ben Shelton needs to avoid baseline exchanges. That is a big key for Ben Shelton. And for him to do that, he needs to be landing a lot of first serve sin, which needs to be over 70%, which I don't think it will be. He will not land over 70%. I think he will land between 60 to 65% first serve sin. That is my feeling. And I think that in the end, that will hurt him a lot. He won 77% on his first serve against Tiafoe. He won 50% of the points of the second serve against Tiafoe. I think both of those numbers will go down, dramatically down against Djokovic, because Djokovic is not Tiafoe. His return serves much better than Tiafoe. He is much better from the baseline than Tiafoe. So I think both those numbers will go down dramatically against Novak Djokovic. And I think Novak Djokovic, in the end, will win the baseline battle, because he will take his teeth into Ben Shelton's second serves. And when he gets those rallies going, Djokovic will have the upper hand there. And I think Djokovic also will return better than Ben Shelton. I think Djokovic will break serve more times than what Ben Shelton will do. So in the end, I think Djokovic will win this one in straight sets. Maybe Shelton can take one set with big serving. Maybe. That is not impossible, but I have a feeling that Djokovic will win this one in straights. That is my feeling. Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? So I'm predicting both of these semifinals, both of these two players will win their matches in straight sets. Carlos Alcaraz beats Medvedev in straight sets, Novak Djokovic beats Ben Shelton in straight sets, and we will have that Clash of the Titans final on Sunday between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz, between the world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz at the current moment and the world number 2 Novak Djokovic at the current moment. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time, peace.